We're talking netiquette today, internet etiquette, digital manners, from family rules to enforce to social media do's and don'ts, and what's going on with parents humiliating their children for content. We're talking the price of these pranks right now on Maggie and the Moms. It's time for Maggie and the Moms. Sponsored by Tampa General Hospital. We teach our children to follow etiquette rules like saying please and thank you, but are we teaching them netiquette, which is internet etiquette, digital manners? And what are those digital managers? The digital managers and the digital manners that all children and frankly parents should know as well, because if we're honest, we moms are not great about this as well. We have some work going on over there, as you can see, trying to figure out what's going on with our cameras, but there we are. Hi ladies, my guest today, Natalie Safat, digital media expert, mother to Theo, a toddler.
I mean, he's 4.
He's 4. Is that a toddler?
That's preschool.
That's preschool. Yeah, Stephanie Rodriguez Neely knows what everything's called because she has children of all ages. 6 of them. 6 of them right now at the moment. She's a super mom. She's a superhero. And at the board, Deanna Moore, hi. You okay? Looked like Garrett was helping you figure something out, but it worked, whatever it was.
Just move on.
She's like,
it's just one of those days.
It has been one of those days around here, but whatever. We all have those days, and we need to move forward. Okay, so netiquette was a great term that I saw coined in an article that I read from iMom, and then it went on to explain why it's not just about internet safety, which of course is crucial, but it's also about being kind and nice on the internet, having these digital manners. Because as they pointed out, just like you teach your children please and thank you, why aren't you teaching them how to communicate in the same kind way online? I have a digital media expert who's also a mom here. So I'm going to start with you. How would you define digital manners?
By the way, I have to start by saying that the irony of our digital stuff not working while we teach about digital best practices is not lost on me.
In other words, that's going to be the takeaway of this whole podcast, that sometimes you're going to do your best and it's still not going to go okay, and that's fine.
Expect the unexpected.
That's fine.
Yes.
We do our best.
Yes, that's all we can do.
Right?
I think that netiquette is just another word for digital manners, and typically they range just like regular manners do from household to household. They're all a little different, but I think we can all agree on some core tenets, which are, when we're talking to someone, we put our phone down and we look at them in the eyes. And perhaps we also ask permission before we post someone to the internet, including, of course, a child. We can ask that person's parents, whether or not they're comfortable.
Let's take these one by one.
Please.
Because we have time. Unlike our TV segment that we do, we talked about this and we sort of have to rush through. We do have time to go point by point. That you said to put your phone down when you're talking to someone. This is a family rule in my house that is not always followed and not always enforced, frankly. That's so important because what do you think it says to somebody if you're talking to them and
you're not worth my undivided attention?
Right?
That's what it says. And I've told my kids that exact thing, like, put your phone down and look at me. Like, I deserve your respect. Even if you don't care about what I'm saying, I care enough to say it. Put your phone down or stop looking at the TV. Focus. When you split your attention, it says the person that you're splitting it with is not worth all of it.
So what are your rules at home for phones during, say, dinner time?
Well,
do you have any?
I hate to call them rules. It's almost like just etiquette.
Etiquette,
right? Right? Like you just, if we're not having a screen time meal, which does happen on occasion, I'm watching one of my shows that I missed and the kids will be on their tablets while they're eating. It's very casual. Like, I don't care. It's fine. But if we're sitting down and we're trying to have conversations, do not pull out your phone. That's disrespectful. If we're eating out and mom and dad want to have a conversation, I don't mind the boys being on a tablet or my daughter piddling around on TikTok. But if we're trying to engage the family in a conversation, if one of them were to pull out a device, again, that's just bad manners. It would be if somebody pulled out a book while you're in the middle of talking to them. Like, you just don't split your attention with somebody if you're trying to show them respect.
Exactly. There's no difference when you put it that way between bringing out a book and bringing out your phone in the middle of a conversation. I love that. All right. The other one that you mentioned is asking permission before you post. This is a big one for me. So to whom do you ask permission? Do you ask your kids?
Depends, I think, on their age. Depends on their understanding of what the internet actually is. Certainly, I think a 4-year-old would not be able to consent either way to an image of themselves being taken, posted. But I think with older children, I know you have some, Stephanie. Would you tell me what your thoughts are there?
Well, I've learned very quickly with a teen girl, do not post that picture unless you get her approval first, because they're never happy with how they look. So anything I post and I think, oh, she looks stunning, and I post it, and my daughter's like, Mom, why would you post? I'm like, you're beautiful. She's like, no, these are all the things that are wrong with me. I disagree, but it's her, so she has a right to say, please don't post that. Just like when my kids have snapped pictures of me, I'm like, all right, that's for personal use. I've got 2 chins showing, like, let's not post that publicly or share it with our friends. It really does come down to their age, their ability to have autonomy and informed consent, because kids don't understand the permanency of posting things online. So even if it's something small as a joke, I mean, there might be pictures that I've taken of my kids that I thought were completely sweet and innocent that somebody could have somewhere on some device that I have no control over
Well,
anymore.
that's why I don't post my kids at all on my public Instagram. Never have, not one photo. Look for it, you won't find it. But on my private, I used to, and I still do post photos of my children, because that's where friends and family who maybe don't live here in Tampa see them growing up. But I'll never forget the moment, because I used to post without asking their permission. And I posted a photo, we went somewhere, and my son had to go on my husband's shoulders to be able to see something that was in a case. And I thought, oh, look at that sweet moment. And my son saw it and he says, why would you do that? I am blank years old. I am on my dad's shoulders. What if my friends see that? He was so horrified and so offended, and it never occurred to me that would be the case.
Because we see things through the mom's eyes, like, that's a sweet moment.
That's a sweet moment to me is a horrifying, embarrassing moment for him. And so that taught me, as from that day forward, may I post this photo? Are you okay with this photo? To both of them. And if I'm going to show something on TV, same thing. No. Are you okay with this?
But what about, like, okay, so we got a big family, and taking a picture where everybody looks good, is looking in the right direction, it's like herding cats. It's practically impossible. And again, my daughter, she is stunning.
She has 6 children, so remember that.
She's stunning, but she's never happy with how she looks, which is crazy, because she's the most beautiful thing in the world. And we're taking pictures, and I finally get everybody looking this way, and Devin goes, don't use that one. My hair's doing this. Don't do that one.
So then what do you do?
I need to post the picture for the family on these Christmas cards.
Do you need to?
I have a lot of family that is in Key West, Ohio. That's how I share my family with the extended parts of our family that I don't get to see all the time. So yeah.
So how do you navigate that?
Sometimes I just tell her she's got to deal with it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I know she looks good and she's just being critical, I have to go, Devin, it's for family. It's not on a public account. I don't post publicly, but friends and family are going to see it. And she's a little more reasonable now at 17.
No one's going to look perfect.
Right.
Not everyone's going to look perfect.
But how do you navigate that?
Yeah. Do you have issues with this at all, Deanna?
I'm such a voyeur in this conversation because I don't post that much. I got my hand slapped one time because I did like an appreciation post when my oldest daughter turned 10. And she was like, you didn't ask me. I was like, you know what? You're right. Sister, I'm going to listen to you because that is the right thing to do. I don't even post enough, and I still got my hand slapped. So.
Yes.
Lesson learned.
The irony of them being critical of what we post, where if you follow them on Snapchat, you're getting pictures of like this part of their eye or like the window.
But they made that decision.
Right.
Yeah,
so that's why
their autonomy.
I try to let it go.
Yeah.
But
all right, let's talk about another Netiquette rule. I think that like if you think of, how when you text, tone can be a tricky thing to interpret, right? So you write, I'm fine, and the person could read it as, or it's fine, and the person could read it as, it's fine, or it's fine.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful, right? What the words that you use and how they could be interpreted. Do you think that much about it?
Yes.
You do?
I overthink it. Am I the only one? You guys look shocked.
When you send a text?
Well, okay, so again, teenagers. And we've had this fight with my daughter. She drives me crazy. She will text me all caps, Mom. And that's it. And I'm like, where are you? And I'm on my way. And, oh, no, can I have my boyfriend come over? I'm like, why do you text just the word Mom to send me into a straight
in all
panic?
Caps.
So then
Mom with no, and then does she wait a while before?
So I do the thumbs up response, right? Just the thumbs up. Apparently that's super passive aggressive. That's like, you might as well give the middle finger if you're going to do the thumbs up.
What are you talking about? I can't with all of this. Please help us, Natalie.
Why is that passive aggressive?
Why does she feel that's passive aggressive?
That's just what it is. That is a fact of 17-year-old life.
Okay.
And it's not just her, my other teen daughters that
No,
we
Gen
foster.
Zers, all Gen Zers think that.
It's a thing it's
The way you say K, if you okay versus thumbs up.
or KK. They do KK.
KK.
And I'm like, what is that?
Yeah. Okay, but I have to jump in there because this article that I read said teach your kids not to type just K, which is one of my pet peeves. When my son gives me the K,
Yeah.
I'm like, I go off on him. But that's how they speak to each other. And so who am I, an old lady, to tell him, maybe don't say K with me, but I'm not going to force him to type like at
Right.
minimum 3-word replies to his friends.
But why not though?
Because
there's
that's not how they talk to each other.
This is where I'm coming from. There's a standard with parents versus a standard with teens.
That's what I'm saying too.
Don't give me bruh if you're going to tell your kids bruh.
Yes.
So there should be a standard for you.
No. You misunderstood. With me, you better not say K
Oh,
or
okay.
bruh.
Well, I thought you were saying it should be a fine.
No, with
Okay.
me, I don't want the K. I don't want the bruh. But with your friends, I'm not going to force you to text your friends.
Oh, of course.
But, you know,
The other side of that too is,
in a formal way.
don't you feel like when your kids are texting you, I can't say for all of them because they don't all text. It's actually really just my 17-year-old now. But when she texts
when
me
they snap.
and but she'll be like, bruh. And I'm like, ooh, okay. And I'll put the little teacup emoji. I'm like, spill. Like we have that little lingo going back and forth where I kind of love it because like she feels like she can talk to me, not just as a parent. When we need her parent talk, she knows the tone and the way to do it. But when she's like, let me tell you what this
and
girl
place.
did.
Right, so context. So she's about to
Yeah.
spill
Time
the
and place.
tea and she says,
Yes,
bruh.
bruh.
Okay. Agreed. You're nodding.
I think this sort of counts a time where we as kids were told not to say like yeah or or you know, and we had to say yes, or we were instructed to speak in a polite way and not abbreviate or sort of use slang. And I think I remember being a kid and my parents, remember landlines? Remember when you would
yes.
call your friend but like
course.
the mom would answer?
And you had to say, hi, Mrs.
You had to have a whole
That's it.
conversation with
Yeah.
a parent before you talked to your
remember
friend.
That
one
was
time,
wonderful.
right?
Awful when you were a kid, but looking back, amazing.
Yeah, like at first I would just be like, is Ashley home? You know, and then my mom caught me one day and was like, no, you have to greet the mom and you have to say, you know, how are you doing? And then ask the thing. So I think all of this boils down to we want our kids to be polite and sort of respectful,
Yeah.
whether it is in the real world or the internet.
How much it translates and changes over the, because like there was a point where if you typed all in caps, like you're screaming, and then that kind of went away, and then all of a sudden nothing's capitalized, and now things are capitalized again, and I
too
can't even
much to
keep
keep
up
track
with it.
of.
Sometimes I'm like, wait, are you mad at me? Did I do
Yes.
something? Because mom's all in caps. Are you in a ditch somewhere?
Yes.
Like that's always my first thought with that.
I think it's just
It's
the
hard to
takeaway
follow.
is etiquette, what you said. Have manners just as much online and in the digital world as you are required to do in the real world. My son, you know, I saw something that he typed to a teacher and he's like, hey, Mr. So-and-so, blah, 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 blah. And I go, you cannot start a letter with, hey, Mr. So-and-so. He's like, but I walk into class and I go, hey, Mr. So-and-so. I'm like, that's different. That's different. So you have to teach your children these things.
Wait, what's the
because,
alternative? What do you want him to say?
hi, or Mr. So-and-so.
Is it bad that I
Hey
literally
is a
put that in
little
my
too
emails? I'll be
casual.
like, hey, Deanna, I got an event
I don't
coming up. You want
think
to talk
that
about it?
my personal opinion, and maybe every family's different. I don't think that a 15-year-old kid should be addressing a teacher as, hey, Mr. So-and-so.
Hey is too casual. Even hi feels more.
I
polite
think
to
it
you.
depends
Or-
on the relationship because my dad was a coach. He
Yes.
coached for years and years and years locally. And he had relationships with his students where that showed that he was connecting with them. He liked when they were like, yo, Coach Rod, high five.
in person, but in a letter.
Well, there wasn't a lot of texting
addressing
back
the
yeah,
then
issue.
but I
either.
would say probably 40 years ago, people were saying, "You're saying hi. That's way too." They would have. You
Too
should have
casual.
said hello or
Dear.
dear,
Yeah.
Mr.
Dearest.
So and so.
Okay.
So I think even you have evolved.
Okay. So maybe I have a little more evolution to go. But you know what? That's what motherhood is. All right. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to continue talking about this, including the trend, disturbing, I say, of pranking your children and posting their humiliation right after the break.
Used to it.
I guess so. Okay, we're still talking about social media, and I want specifically to talk about this trend. You see so many parents pranking their children for content. Okay, the egg crack prank comes to mind. I was so disturbed by that because it started, I don't think it started with children. I think it was adults to adults, and then kind of like the mommy Mommy Sphere picked it up, and then you saw these women doing it to their infants, and the infants were clearly not happy. They cried. They said, why would you do that? And then the mom still posted it.
Some of those kids displayed much more emotional maturity than the parents themselves.
Isn't that
It
ironic?
was wild.
They literally asked, why would you do that? What are you doing?
The one girl, that's not nice. You
That's
don't
not
do that
nice.
to people. And
And
I'm thinking,
so-
like, let's learn from these children.
Exactly, because we are their teachers. So what are you saying to them when you are hitting them over the head with something, laughing at their reaction to it,
And then sharing
and then
it.
encouraging others to view and comment on their humiliation?
Yeah, you're not setting a good example. I think we can all agree. I think when I see this type of content, right away I feel like we have to create a line in the sand between what is funny and what is actually oversharing or harmful. And I think the barometer or the level of discernment for all parents, mothers and fathers, is that we should be looking at what actually gives your child a genuine trigger. If you've experienced something with your child and in that moment they are nervous, they are crying, they're fearful, they're embarrassed, they're having a tantrum, certainly that is not framing them in a positive light in any universe that should be shared online.
Yeah, why would you share their worst moments? How would you
Yeah.
feel if your kid, if you were having an emotional breakdown, which I've had, I'm a mom, I got a lot of kids.
Sure.
There's times where I've cried, there's times where I yelled. What if my daughter recorded it and posted it? I would be livid. I would feel violated. I would feel disrespected. I don't know how I'd get over that. That would be breaking a level of trust that I don't even know how to recover from. Why would I do that to her?
If more moms thought of it that way, this wouldn't be happening. It's out of control.
Yeah, kids are not content. I cannot get behind any parent that monetizes their kids, even positive stuff. And again, I have people all the time going, you should create a channel and let them follow along with your foster care adoption. Why do I want them to follow a journey of my children's private stories? That's their private story. That is not for me to share with other people for likes, views, and monetization. Like, I just can never get behind that.
We follow, I know you follow too, because I saw Hi for Tessa. Do you follow her?
Remind me who that
She's
is.
writing a book. It's coming out soon. We want to have her on so bad. And she talks about the mom influencers who like capitalize off of their children by posting their first periods and, having a tampon company sponsor it.
Oh my gosh.
Humiliate them. Just everything is for profit, and these kids don't have normal lives. And it's so fascinating to watch. I don't want to judge these people. I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
I'm
but
judging them.
it's almost like prostituting your kid.
It is.
That's what it
I agree.
kind of boils down to for me.
The kids do not have the level of informed consent needed to say this is okay with me. The parents are not giving them options, and there's just no good that can come of it. There's been laws enacted in Hollywood to protect kids from this type of exploitation, and we're not seeing it yet at the social media level because it's still so new and it's
You make
growing
a
real
really good
quick.
point.
But parents cannot put their kid in a movie and pocket all that money
Right.
and force them to do things anymore. Why can we do it?
And yet you're
Legislation's
seeing
not.
the effects of some of these kids who have grown up with this now, because it was very new not too long ago, and we didn't see, those of us with common sense knew how that was going to go, but now we're seeing it, and we're seeing these kids who say, you messed me up, you stole my childhood, you humiliated me. So I hope that you would think it would be enough, but it still goes on.
Is the
It's still
paycheck worth
rampant.
it?
No, nothing is worth your child's happiness and well-being. And as as parents, our job is to raise these kids that do not need to recover from their childhood. And we cannot do that if we're exploiting them for social media, for that dopamine boost from seeing another like or comment. And people on the internet are mean. You could post something completely sweet and wholesome, and you're still going to get people critiquing it, criticizing your kid, asking them, why do they look like that? Why are you doing that? Why expose them to a world of hatred when you can keep them safe and teach them better at home? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. We're going to wrap up the conversation right after a quick break, so don't go away. Before you go, just a takeaway. I mean, time always flies when the conversation is good. We were talking about parents who prank their children for content. Is it worth it? My gauge when I'm thinking about everything that we do parenting related is I just think about the kids. I just think about them and how is this going to affect them? Does it make sense for them? Period. I don't want, because I have thought many times, like, oh my gosh, I want to post this moment. I want to post, because it makes me, it shows how cute my kid is, or I would seem like such a good mom, or my daughter's beautiful. My son is so handsome. My son is so, but then I'm like, why am I doing it? Is this going to benefit them? If the answer is no, then I don't post. That's how I do it.
I think that needs to be what we think about before we do anything with our kids. Like, how does this benefit them? How could it harm them? And then make the decision. It's like I tell my oldest, like, before you do something, go, is mommy going to be happy or sad? And if she's like, oh yeah, mommy's probably not going to like that I tried to microwave a metal pot, I better not do it. There's your answer. We need to have the same accountability for ourselves as we expect out of our children.
Yes. But like, is it truly going to benefit them? Because you can convince yourself that it will. You can say, yes, this is an amazing photo of and maybe it'll lead to, people liking it, and then what? So why do you need
the
that?
benefit of that? I probably overshare so much. Like I said, my family can see my kids, especially the ones that are older or can't travel anymore. They don't get to experience my children except for on the videos I post on Facebook. But again, that's private, only people I know, and it's private, and the kids know, and I don't post their worst moments. And I used to. I posted videos of Devin crying, and she didn't mind, thank goodness. But I go back and I go, I couldn't have even asked her. She was 3. She wouldn't have known what she was saying. Yeah, mommy, post it for her.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that when you think about the intention behind the post, are you doing it as a celebration of your child or to share with community or family, versus I'm looking for a dopamine hit, or I'm looking to profit off of my child likeness, whatever the powerful reasons are that there is a multi-billion-dollar, obviously economy of mom and dad influencers. I think the intention is really important. And I think checking yourself, even if it is to look back and say, you know what, I don't agree with something I did 5 years ago, or 5 minutes ago.
Don't you guys look at stuff and you go, why would I post that? What did I was thinking?
And I think the internet has changed a lot over time. We talk about that too, that, 10 years ago, I think we didn't have the same understanding of the permanence and the sort of longevity of posts. And in some ways, those of us who had kids were at a disadvantage 10 years ago posting about them. Honoring the intention, honoring the ever-changing landscape of social media, too. All really important.
I think I'd rather be safe than sorry. That's where I come from. That's why I barely post, because I feel like I'll look at that post, like you just said, and I'll go, was that really worth it? Yeah. So I just don't post, which is probably extreme.
And that's great.
Whatever.
And that's fine.
It is what it is.
Yeah. When out, don't. That's a rule of journalism, and it's a rule of life, and it's a rule of parenting. I'm going to apply it to everything. Well, and I'm going to end it with this. Just like we started this podcast, we're going to do our best, but occasionally we're not going to get it right. We're going to have to try. We need a Garrett to come in and fix the glitch and try to help us. And that's what we try to do here, is have these conversations to help each other. So thank you, ladies, for being here.
Thanks for having us.
We'll see you next time on Maggie and the Moms.